stop me. My moment is happening, and I know it all.
Right in from Meola.
Keep rolling, no limits, I keep going. Nothing, no nothing.
So the chance plays it off. It's
Lucky 9.
Fans have been waiting for about 3 hours for a taste of whatever's on the grill and a taste of nostalgia here at SeatGeek Stadium as Fabian Herbers and Mauricio Pineda in their custom-tailored suits looking for a big 3 points as they play host to NYCFC in their old digs at SeatGeek Stadium here in beautiful Bridgeview, Illinois. Tyler Terrence along with U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Tony Meola. So glad to be joining us here on WGN and Chicago Fire FC Live. Tone, obviously a little bit different for us because when we're here, there's typically no fans in the seats.
Yeah.
We're going to get a little bit of a different taste of that tonight. For the Chicago Fire, you know, they've hosted some of the best teams in the Eastern Conference over the past 8 days. We'll take a look at some clips against the New England game where, you know, we'll sort of toss the Nashville game aside given the playing field. But in the New England game specifically, there were a lot of moments where you could just sort of, you know, maybe point to some decision-making for the Chicago Fire.
Yeah, and it's been about decisions and critical moments for this side, right? And tonight we'll talk about getting forward quickly and getting forward as quickly as you can. Here you see Gaston Jimenez, a spin out here. Now you play Federico Navarro, and again, it's back again. Do you have options forward? And I think that's the most important thing tonight. Chinoso Ofor here. He's got Sekulic running down the right-hand side. He does cut to the middle of the field to take a shot. Now, you don't want to discourage this. What you want to know is that your players know that you have options running forward. Here's a play where a little bit more direct. You see a lot of space in the midfield for Federico Navarro. A quick ball forward. This is Robert Beric out wide, which we've seen him do. Now you got 3 runners in the box. Needs a little better cross, but of course you look at it and say, okay, this is good execution here as far as movement between players. Now you see all the blue jerseys getting forward. They've got New England pinned back here, Navarro with a run here, and a ball played the box. So it's about getting forward a little bit quicker tonight. And what we've seen from the New York Red Bulls against this side the last 2 games, and Dallas a few games ago when they scored 3 goals. When you get behind this back 4, you can make some things happen on the attacking side.
Well, it's been a brutal sort of 8-day stretch for the Chicago Fire, just given their opponents. But for Rafael Wicki, he's just making one change going up against third-place NYCFC.
Yeah, Fabian Herbers will come in for Ignacio Aliceta up top here. Slonina, his 4th consecutive start, same back 3. Jonathan Bornstein captains the side. Jimenez alongside Federico Navarro. They'll get width from Miguel Navarro on the left, and Johnny Espinosa gets his 2nd consecutive start on the right. Medran in that number 10 spot. As I mentioned, Herbers alongside Beric up top.
You mentioned John Espinosa. He's starting to get more and more playing time. We're still really yet to see what the young Ecuadorian can do.
We can see glimpses of John Espinosa. He's got the athletic ability. He's got the range. He can track people down. Now he's starting to grow into what Rafa Wicki wants to do. And he'll get a little bit more settled now that he gets maybe some more consecutive games. But it's been a guy that Rafa Wicki wants to see more of.
Meanwhile, for this NYCFC side, they come into tonight in 3rd place, but that really doesn't mean much right now below the first 2 spots in the Eastern Conference. There's just 2 points separating 8th place Atlanta United and 3rd place NYCFC. They have everything to play for, but this is a group that stumbled in form a little bit over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and Ronnie Dyer's got to make some decisions tonight in his lineup. No Tati Castellanos, he's suspended. No James Sands, he is suspended. But of course, Sean Johnson just got his call up to the U.S. men's national team. He'll captain this side tonight. The back 3 of Collins, Morales, and Chanel Acevedo slides in next to Keaton Parks. Torrenson moves up the field along with Tinnerholm. They'll play as wing backs. Maxi Morales. This team goes for me as Maxi Morales goes. Telis Magno, the youngster, alongside Medina up top.
This NYCFC group is led by a number of veteran players, but Telis Magno, he was the 3rd DP that's been brought into this group, and he's already got a goal to his name as well.
Yeah, the 19-year-old Brazilian gets an opportunity. Tati Castellanos is a major miss for Ronnie Dyer tonight.
Well, this NYCFC group has a lot to play for. These fans here at SeatGeek haven't seen their side here in Bridgeview in 2 years. The last time out here in Bridgeview, it was a 2-2 draw against Toronto FC.
Chicago Fire, their home finale. Endo, Schweinsteiger.
Our strength allows us to reach the unthinkable. And through it all, even as we have the ability to push ourselves to the limit, it will always be muscle and mind and heart. that is the future of our pastime. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, proud server of the most advanced machine on Earth.
One more. One more.
One more, please.
One more.
Hey, kid. Yeah, we'll take one more.
Oh, one more.
At UI Health, we know a safer future is a healthier future, which is why we're continuing research on COVID treatments and therapies, keeping our patients safe while they receive care, and bringing the vaccine to more people and more communities. Chicago, a healthier future is on the horizon. Let's get there together. Learn more at uihealth.care.
The following presentation of Chicago Fire FC is brought to you by your Chicagoland Mercedes-Benz dealers and by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, the card you can count on through it all. Well, we may not be in downtown Chicago, but we are in Chicagoland here at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, Illinois, as the Chicago Fire have played host to the first, second, and now third-place teams in the Eastern Conference as they welcome NYCFC to town. And we'll take a look at the Mercedes-Benz keys to the game. Tony Meola, what do we got?
Yeah, Tyler, as we talked about in the open here, get behind this back four or this back three, depending on how they line up. And on the defending side, deal with Torrenson and Tinnerholm, the two wing backs that will get high up the field.
Ronnie Dylan, this NYCFC group, knowing that it has been a tough stretch, but know that there's just 2 games remaining in this week, and then they'll have 14 days off. A loss and a draw against Red Bulls in a back-to-back Hudson River Derby special earlier this week, as Baldomero Toledo looks about ready to go. We hope you are all as well. And we are officially underway from SeatGeek Stadium. Turn off the world and turn on the game. It's the Chicago Fire and NYCFC for 90 minutes. Tyler Terrence and the U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Tony Meola, thank you so much for tuning in. Kickoff is brought to you by Proven IT. And right off the bat, played out of play by NYCFC. Keaton Parks couldn't keep it in. Chicago coming off of that 0-0 draw against Nashville over the weekend. A sluggish and sort of grinded out type of game. But if you look at it from the Fire's perspective, obviously a good point against the Nashville team that's always difficult to break down, have not given up more than a goal yet this entire season.
Early on here, kind of expecting Rafa Wiki to go in a high press. He has turned the ball over once here as NYCFC comes forward, but you're already seeing here in the first minute a little bit more bite. The defensive part of things here. Gaston Jimenez chasing the ball around. Johnny Espinosa now. Good ball movement here by NYCFC, but I think you're going to see a little bit more of that from Rafa Wiki's side, trying to pick something off in the middle third, maybe attacking third, and get at NYCFC really quickly.
Dangerous back pass, and here's Magno for the first time tonight. Young designated player out of Brazil, brought in mid-season. Torrenson slipping through for Keaton Parks, who's coming off of his 1-game suspension in the red card that he received in the first game against Red Bulls. Maxime Chanot. And Anton Tinnerholm will go all the way back for Sean Johnson, of course. Former member of the Chicago Fire, gave them some great years and eventually went on his way to NYCFC as that ball is picked off by the Fire. But Fabian Herbers, who's playing in a striker role tonight, gave it away, and Alvaro Madron wins it right back and finds John Espinosa.
A little more aggressive stance here from Rafa Wiki's side, of course, being at home. We've seen on the road this side, line up around the midfield stripe, maybe the center circle a little bit higher and press from there, but a little higher pressure here. Just what we talked about in the open, trying to get in behind this back four. There's a ball played over the top. Navarro, your left wing back for Rafawicki, gets himself a ball played down the line, earns a corner kick here for the Fire.
Look at Ronnie Deila. Deemed at one point the Norwegian Jurgen Klopp. I don't know if we'll go that far, but the Norwegian certainly has this side purring in the attacking third, and right now sitting in third place and looking to do some damage in the postseason for the first time in club history, perhaps in 2021. Change the angle from the corner. Medran, decent ball in, and Keaton Parks need to be sure about that one, and we'll do it one more time.
And you see some white jerseys open at the back post as well. That's a really well executed play. Just looking for a flick on, give Sean Johnson something to think about. Nicely done. You always wonder when you set something up on the first corner kick what you're trying to do moving forward in the game. You know, what that is in the sequence.
This sequence finds Federico Navarro. Then he'll send the diagonal back towards Medran. Well played by Jesus Medina. Back in from Miguel Navarro. Difficult to deal with as Keaton Parks gets ahead to it. Pineda challenging with Magno. Here's Espinoza again. Early delivery. Parks is there.
You know, one question about that corner kick is nice high pressure here on the repress. We'll get back to it.
Now here's Pineda from a long way out, and Sean Johnson had to make the play.
Nice job by Pineda. Good repress off the corner. Never really allowed NYCFC to get out of their defensive third here. As you see Pineda with a good look at goal. He knows exactly what he's trying to do going near post here. Sean Johnson's got it covered. But Tyler, my thought process is you have the first corner kick and you give them a headache, right, where they actually head the ball over their own goal going backwards. Why not put it back in the box? Make them deal with it again. I like the other corner kick, but based on what happened on the first one, maybe they've tuned out early in the game on restarts.
NYCFC group. Last time they were in Chicago, a 0-0 draw. That was Gaga Slanina's first professional start where he made history, becoming the youngest goalkeeper ever at 17 years and 81 days to start a Major League Soccer game. Johnny Bornstein and company earning the clean sheet for Gaga Slanina, who also made history in that department. But of course, the marquee matchup between these two sides in their brief history. And this just the 15th all-time meeting was decision day last year as Alvaro Medran goes down and is grabbing onto that wrist. NYCFC essentially eliminated the Chicago Fire from postseason contention with a 4-3 win and a goal-scoring bonanza at Soldier Field last year. So Miguel Navarro angles this in towards Fabian Herbers, and Sean Johnson comes to the very edge of the penalty area to make the play.
Yeah, it's a really good read there by Sean Johnson. Again, a good ball played over the top. Let the center backs, the fullbacks look at their own goal, have to defend. Another turnover off a press.
Press seems to be working for the time being. Medran slips it through. Now it's Robert Beric. First time all the way across the penalty area. It was a really good idea from the Slovenian, and Fabian Herbers was a beat or two behind it.
And you know Fabian Herbers is always going to look to get in the box and get forward here. Beric, as the ball turns over here in the midfield, we just talked about it. Turn it over in the middle third and then go quickly. Poor ball played in by Max Morales. You don't see a lot of that. And now you see runners getting forward. We've got 5 white jerseys getting forward here. Good ball played in by Medran, and ooh, didn't miss by much there, Robert Beric. Just needed a little bit more bend. It's always difficult. So Alfredo Morales was at that near post, but here you see this high press. We haven't seen this for a couple weeks, keep in mind.
Good ball in from Collins. Magno trying to stay on his feet, and the Fire doing a really good job of frustrating NYCFC right from the outset.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say they are frustrating them right now. No answers early on in this one for NYCFC.
Beric heads off the tackle from Morales. Again, puts it into the corridor of uncertainty, but dealt with by Chanot.
You see this press once again. Here's Kappelhoff, and they win it back here with Federico Navarro.
You can put that sequence on loop for the past 2.5 minutes or so, where NYCFC just could not string together more than 2 or 3 passes. Tony, you mentioned that the Fire have sort of gotten away from that high press that we saw basically for the entirety of 2020. I mean, do you think that the press and sort of that helter-skelter style of football suits the Fire and suits this personnel?
We saw it early on in the season, and then it started to get broken down. So what you get is a sequence of games where you got managers that are looking at video and saying, how am I going to break this down? Again, that's where Aronson here with a poor touch to give the ball back to the Fire. So you change things. You sit behind. So do you catch the opponent by surprise maybe for 10 or 15 minutes before they figure it out? So if you're Ronnie Dodley, you've looked at the last 6 or 7 games, maybe even more, and said, well, they're really not going to press. Now you come out in this game and all of a sudden you're getting pressed. So what you worked on, you really don't get to see. So nice job by Rafa Wicki changing the mode of how they want to defend from what we've seen over the last, I would say, month and a half or so.
Bad giveaway there from Gaston Jimenez, just a little bit too cute in his own defensive third.
And those are the type of things that will frustrate the manager in that part of the field. All the back heels, all that stuff is nice, but if it doesn't get pulled off.
Great little build up here. Maxim Morales almost got onto it. Gaga Slonina took a shot to the face. And the Fire players are really upset with this one. Baldomero Toledo is going to have a word with whoever stuck their foot in right at the last. It might have been Magno.
I think it may, yeah. I think it may have been Medina, actually, that went in, and he was really late on this one. And it looked like if anyone was going to get this ball, it was going to be Maxi Morales's. Medina gets a yellow card here. Yeah, it is Medina. Yep. Yeah, he's not even close to this one. This is a poor play here by Medina.
Looks like Gaga Slonina is okay, but Jesus Medina goes into the book, and we see our first disciplinary action tonight as he's brandished yellow in the opening stages of this one.
I don't know that there's any malice in this from Jesus Medina, but I think sometimes as a player, just got to read the situation. And as Slonina came out, he had his head, his hands, and the ball was going into his chest. And Medina's on the outside of his head if you think about him lying down, and he still decided to take a swipe at it. A good entry here.
Seeing a little bit more of Robert Barrett's checking in, and Fabian Herber's running in behind him as Espinoza brings this down beautifully. Looking for an avenue, finds one in Madrani, hits it on the first time, a nasty deflection. Gaston Jimenez onside, Espinoza back in, and knotted away by Morales. Quick, decisive football from Chicago at the moment.
Yeah, this really is right now. Good ball circulation, good movement. Nicely done by Barrage there.
I don't think it's a stretch to say this is some of the sharper football we've seen the Chicago Fire play in the past couple of months.
You know, if we're thinking back in 2020, we saw a lot of this.
Yep.
And then it was, you know, one breakdown and you'd lose a game. They get another opportunity. There's a ball played in by Espinoza, and good block there by Alfredo Morales. You can see him here, as always, in that natural position.
Yeah, very natural.
It, right, with your arms behind your back. We know the rules now. That's the way they're playing the game, defenders.
It has been a frustrating last 6 games for NYCFC. Just one win in their last half dozen. As Jesus Medina picks this up, a lot of navy blue jerseys getting forward. Magno is probably offside even if he did get to it. And it'll roll out of play. So a nice little step there from the Chicago back line.
You see Federico Navarro not happy with himself there. He took a chance on the sideline as the ball was played up the line and he missed it. Medina was running at the defense from there.
Tinnerholm couldn't get past Federico Navarro's coming off of his man-of-the-match performance against Nashville.
Tinnerholm's in a spot we don't see a lot of. He normally plays as a right back. He's one of the more clinical right backs in the league. Loves to get forward. He's got 5 assists on the season. He's playing a little more inside here through Chicago's buildup, and I wonder, just to squeeze things in the middle of the field is likely why he's in there.
Magno engaging in some hold-up play for Ronnie Dyla's group.
A little too aggressive here by Federico Navarro. I know you want to win the ball, but this is not a spot you want to give a restart away in. see here you got your center forward facing the touchline. You've got help in Jonathan Bornstein. I imagine there's some communication going on there, so you're 2v1, so you just hold them up. Now you give up a restart here, and Maxi Morales, we've seen him time and time again in these areas really deliver dangerous balls. There's a lot of room for Slonina to cover here from this area.
Keaton Parks, Maxime Chanot, Alexander Collins, some of the likely targets.
You're looking the penalty spot to the top of the 6 if you're serving this ball here.
It's Morales. And Gaga Slonina will say thank you very much.
Yeah, he got that one all wrong. See, now here, for Gabi Slonina, is something you manage the game as you get older, right? As the youngsters in the game, you just had a poor restart. You get the ball back after Maxi Morales plays it out. Now just take your time. Let everybody get set up. There's no rush there. Let everybody get in position and get ready to go, so you don't have to rush building out of the back. Again, it's a little thing, but as I always thought as a goalkeeper, if I ever thought the next pass that I gave was coming back to me, I wasn't going to give it. Right? The next pass you have to...
Pretty logical.
You give one pass, but you have to see the second pass for that player. But in this case here, just the tempo of the game.
Just the 6th professional start for Gaga Slonina at 17 years old, 5th straight, as he's been getting some invaluable moments here with Chicago, going up against some of the best competition, not only in the Eastern Conference, but in Major League Soccer between New England, Nashville. Earned his first clean sheet and a professional start against NYCFC on August 4th, as Johan Kappelhoff, the Dutchman, is driving forward. Kappelhoff actually the only member of this starting 11 for the Chicago Fire who has played at SeatGeek before as a member of Chicago. This goes to show how much the roster has changed over the past couple of years since their last affair against Toronto FC. And Tony, thank you for the correction. Fabian Herbers also falls into that category.
Well, I just remember that goal we showed, right, in the highlights.
That's right.
At the last game. Good goal, by the way.
I just couldn't see him. He's playing up at striker. He's playing in a different position every week now.
Everywhere. He's played everywhere for this side.
Fan Appreciation Night is set for October 23rd when the Fire hosts Real Salt Lake, and it's presented by 7-Up. Kickoff is at 7, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a new crest, hat, and flag. Plus, if you buy 3 tickets, you'll get the 4th free. Visit ChicagoFireFC.com for complete details.
I'd like to see this battle down the right-hand side. Johnny Espinosa, can he take on Tor Aronson a couple times? He squared him up a couple times. He played the ball in the middle of the field, and Navarro's going to get a yellow here.
Now, you know what he's trying to do there, Tony? He's trying to slow up the counterattack, but is that 100% necessary given where Navarro is in relation to Maxi Morales?
Yeah, and he's going outside. Can you just shepherd him outside, get him to the sideline? But, you know, once you put your arm around the neck like you just did, give Valdemiro Toledo is one of the more experienced referees in this league. No choice.
Because now your most physical and ball-winning savvy midfielder is in trouble and needs to be careful heading into future challenges.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Federico Navarro is going to be here for a couple years. That's not the last yellow card we're going to see, nor should you think you're not going to see a red card somewhere down the road. He's just that kind of player. That's what makes him tick. He needs to win balls, and when you're that type of player, you're going to miss a tackle every now and then.
Keaton Parks picking out Goody Tor Aronson. Comes Maxi Morales on the overlapping run. What a ball that is from Tor Aronson. Maxi Morales dinks it towards the back post. Nobody there. Miguel Navarro makes the safe play in the end, but a corner kick coming up for NYCFC.
And I'm looking in the boxes. Maxi Morales is going down here to the end line, and enough numbers in there. Transition was good for Rafa Wickie's side. There weren't a lot of options. This is a really good ball by Tor Aronson. See Magno marked up. Maybe need to get tighter there to Medina as Pineda comes across to help Kappelhoff. got numbers getting back in transition.
Good ball swung in. Magno got to it, but Gabi Slonina makes the save at the near post.
Magno going back there, hard to get a lot of power on it. And this was nice rhythm here by Slonina for me. Anytime you make a save off a corner kick like that, you think about how many guys are in the box. He looked forward. Medran was making a run. He went to the top of the box. He realized he wasn't going to make that play. Then you slow it down.
Mauricio Pineda with an adventurous run, finding John Espinoza in all sorts of time and space. Gastón Jiménez with his right foot. Not exactly his best as Federico Navarro keeps it alive. And Medran out wide for the Venezuelan Miguel Navarro.
The repress has been really good for Rakawiki's side here so far.
Beric leads it off for Jimenez and poked away at the last moment by Chanot. Pineda. Easy enough for Johnson.
Yeah, a little dip on that ball. You know, and I'm talking about Slonina's rhythm, and you know, someone's probably saying, how do you learn all of that? Well, you go fast a couple times, and you get a couple of your teammates screaming at you because they're breathing really heavy after a play. You'll learn after a while.
Here's Magno. Kappelhoff stuck a toe in, just enough to bother the Brazilian. NYCFC group has only won one postseason game in their history, and that was in the preliminary round a few years ago. And they're still looking for that sort of real breakout season when it comes to the Audi MLS Cup playoffs. And a lot of people think that it might just be this year. A lot of the pieces that they've added mid-season and added to some of the veterans that they have in Collins and Chanot, and this man Maxi Morales as the offside flag goes up.
And they've got a number 9 who's scoring goals.
And Heber's working his way back into the lineup as well.
He's got 2 appearances now, and I would imagine at some point tonight we're going to see him as well. And a couple weeks now to get to full fitness.
It's not to say that the regular season performances haven't been there from Ronnie Tyler's group, and obviously under previous coaches and Patrick Vieira, Tommy Taran, they've had some really good regular seasons, but again, it's just sort of that postseason success that continues to elude them.
And they were in that, let's not forget that wild penalty kick shootout down in Orlando.
Here's Beric. Medran. Espinoza's in a lot of space. They look to go for Gastón Jiménez, who's making a diagonal run, and cleared away by Tinnerholm. This portion of tonight's match is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, the card you can count on through it all. Tony, for you, does this side have the horses to be able to make a run in the postseason?
They do. Anytime you have a goalkeeper that's as hot as Sean Johnson is right now, you've got a goal scorer and that one playmaker, Maxi Morales. I really think that this is a guy that he's sort of a game changer when he plays, and when he's on, and he makes this team click. Now, the question mark here, they're 3-6-4, so they've won 3 of their 13 games on the road. So you just wonder why that is, and of course you don't get to see another great win here by Federico Navarro.
Robert Beric might be offside here as the flag stays down for the time being, but we've seen this show before. Espinoza. Pineda. Ball set to Magno. It's a bad spot to give it away, but Pineda goes right after the ball. and at least slows up the counterattack. Jesus Medina was asking for it in space. But I'll tell you what, NYCFC had a 3v3 going the other way. Good job for the Fire.
Yeah, they did have numbers getting forward.
Keaton Parks finding Uruguayan Jesus Medina. Tinner home, finding Maxi Morales, a scuff shot that's off the post. Our first Woodward sighting in the 23rd minute. Hardly a clean delivery from Maxi Morales, but Gaga Slanina will certainly take it. And now here comes Miguel Navarro the other way. Kappelhoff, angle toward Beric. And the foul's committed by NYCFC. That's the Peruvian and 29-year-old Alexander Collins.
Here's that ball played back here. Maxi Morales mishits it, as you said. Slonina just misses it here, and luck on his side here. And some music to the goalkeeper's ears, and they go down the other end here, and Robert Beric holding up Collins, who commits the foul.
Been a nostalgia for the fans here tonight, as we've talked about. First time in almost exactly 2 years that they've been able to support their side at SeatGeek. Looks like it will be Gaston Jimenez on top of the set piece after a long conversation with his teammate Alvaro Medran.
Keys to get someone in front of Morales at that front post.
Jimenez with a lot of pace all the way towards the back post, and nobody can make a play on it. So two very good set piece opportunities for both NYCFC and Chicago in the opening 25 minutes, and both go by the wayside. There's certainly been some good moments in this place, and a lot of Chicago Fire fans will have some fond memories of like Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Nikolic, CJ Sapong, David Accam scoring some big goals here in Bridgeview. As NYCFC with some neat play to get out of trouble, and now it's Maxi Morales leading the charge. Out of the reach of Magno.
What's the difference here between Magno and what we've seen from Tati Castellanos is Castellanos, his first movement is always looking to stretch the defense. Where it looks like here, and it's a short sample size, we're 26 minutes into this one just about, and looks like Magno wants to check back in front of that back four first.
Gets it again. Just out of the reach of Morales. He got a toe to it. Fabian Herbers gets taken down. And that's Acevedo who commits the foul, and he's going to go into the book as well. As Baldomero Tomato is not exactly shy about showing the cards for the moment.
This one here, I don't know Acevedo knows much about it, as Herbers comes from behind him. He does stretch in the end and probably sees him out of the corner of his eye. And he catches him just there, that left leg that was left in right there.
Foul called on Mauricio Pineda. Fire group have lost their scoring touch over the past few weeks or so. Have gone scoreless in 4 out of the last 5 games. Of course, had the thrilling 3-2 defeat to New England This time last week, Carlos Gil with the stoppage time game winner, continuing to solidify his MVP case. Medina trying to knock it down. Well played by Johnny Bornstein. Herbers knocks it down for Miguel Navarro, who's now trying to send it into the channel. And Alfredo Morales is there.
A good ball circulation. This one started with a tight sequence of passing here about 40 yards from their own goal and ended up with a ball springing Herbers. Morales made a good play coming across and breaking it up.
Game starting to become a little bit more stretched as we approach the half-hour mark. Morales. To Erickson. Pineda is there only as far as Tinnerholm. Might line one up here, looks for delivery. Magno was the target, and Johan Kappelhoff the disruptor.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Magno thinks as this ball's coming in from Tinnerholm that he's free. He has no idea that Kappelhoff is coming from his backside here. Look at the space Magno's in. He doesn't really attack the ball. He's kind of waiting for it. And what a great play there by Johan Kappelhoff coming from his backside here, but he knows nothing about it, Magno, and that's something as a young striker you're going to learn to go attack those in the box. But Kappelhoff potentially a goal-saving header on that one.
Morales got a touch to it at the near post, caused some confusion amongst the Fire defense. Parks. Medina. Acevedo on the first time, and easy enough for Slonina.
You get the sense here that NYCFC is getting a little bit more comfortable with their rhythm. This one another easy save for Gabby Slonina.
Kappelhoff. Mitterrand. Back for the Dutchman. In for Fabian Herbers. Able to keep it in play, or did he? It'll be a goal kick.
See, Kappelhoff was able to get forward there because three guys, you had John Espinosa, Fabian Herbers, and Robert Barrett stretching the defense and all looking to make runs in behind the back four. Here you see three guys as he's got the ball here. Look at them all, and look at this back three or back five, if you will. They're all running back towards their own goal, which opens up a little bit of space and just overcooked it a little bit. Good idea by Kappelhoff.
Rare miscue from Keaton Parks. Espinosa wanted to go quickly, and Barrett was making a darting run in behind Alfredo Morales that the Ecuadorian was looking to pick out. Mitterrand gets it back from Barrett. Jimenez. Clever ball for Barrett. Peeled back. It took a deflection. And a corner coming up for Chicago.
Really good coordination here by Gaston Jimenez and Robert Barrett. Just waiting to time that run in behind his back line. And there you see he was onside, kept onside by Alfredo Morales, and a little deflection. I think if you're Rafa Wicki, you're pretty happy with the rhythm of your team right now.
Change the angle of the corner again. Miguel Navarro, back post. Espinosa with the acrobatics. Couldn't get it on frame, though.
Boy, what a well-worked play here. As Madron's going to get called for a handball. I just wonder why John Espinosa was this so far behind him that he needed the acrobatics here. Good run. He's onside. You can see there. And I'm not quite sure exactly what he was. It seemed,
your guess is as good as mine.
It seemed a lot simpler for a head ball. It looked like it was about waist high or a little bit higher.
But even
initially, I thought Tyler, the ball was behind him, so maybe he had to
reach. He goes with his left foot, but he jumps as though he's going to go for a scissor kick with his left, and he ends up trying to play with his right in the end, which, of course, when you're jumping like that, I don't even know if he could have made contact with his right foot.
Well, that's a pretty compelling opportunity for the Fire that goes awry here. What a great ball served in.
With a really strong first 33 minutes thus far. Wins another ball back for Chicago. Madron trying to pick out Miguel Navarro. Cut out by Anton Tinnerholm. And NYCFC, as they love to do, will play quickly out of pressure and try to switch the point of attack as Maxi Morales looking for the big home run ball for Jesus Medina, and cut out by Johnny Bornstein.
Yeah, Morales hasn't found the game here, but Navarro looks to have hurt himself here. Miguel Navarro.
Fire fans, join us at the Fire Pitch on Saturday, October 16th and Sunday, October 17th for the annual locker room sale and exclusive access to discounted merchandise. And if you're a season ticket holder, you'll have the first 2 hours all to yourself. All proceeds from the sale benefit the Foundation's Plays program.
Quite sure what happened to Miguel Navarro here as he goes into the tackle. Well, he may have gotten just the bottom of a stud. Looks to be okay.
Skipper Johnny Bornstein is looking for a big 70-yard ball to John Espinosa. Parks is closed down quickly by Kapilov. Good press from the Fire, just making life difficult for the visitors. NYCFC will host Nashville before the international break. Of course, their own Sean Johnson will join the U.S. men's national team in their upcoming games in the World Cup qualifiers. 3 massive fixtures. They're all big at this point, especially given the way that the U.S. started the window. Acevedo just takes it over the top for the Brazilian. Magno sizing up Kapilov. Pings one in towards Chanot, and he just has a swipe at it, never troubling anyone. gets bailed out as he had given that away, but instead NYCFC will earn a free kick.
I don't think the group has found the rhythm with Magno, this NYCFC side, as of yet, but credit Mauricio Pineda and really Kappa Hall for bottling him up a little bit, frustrating him at times. Mauricio Pineda is doing a really good job here of organizing this defense, really stepping out of the back. They haven't been lazy tonight at all. The ball turns over and it's getting forward. He's getting everybody up the field, condensing the size of the field.
Almost goes underneath the foot of Sean Johnson. Hornstein up for the header. Foul called against Federico Navarro as he's slow to get up.
Good win here by Mauricio Pineda, and then Federico Navarro trying to cut inside on Tinnerholm.
Will go all the way back for Slonina. Herbers delicately in towards the Slovenian barrage. Jimenez. Never bashful from that distance. Then sends that one back towards downtown Chicago.
Yeah, not a bad choice. He wants execution, the execution to be a little bit better here, but he's got runners going forward, but no one really open. Right, NYCFC did a good job of marking all the runners. He can have a little bit more patience, maybe pull it back there, but it was on his desired left foot. Just didn't get it right, but again, it's one of those you don't mind if you've got guys in front of you that are open, maybe you make a different decision. In that case, I don't think he had much.
Handball called on Federico Navarro.
He's going to have to be careful here. He's kind of walking on that line, that fine line with Waldemar Toledo.
Well, you spoke that potential red card into existence tonight, so.
Well, I didn't say it was happening tonight.
Collins gets it back from Morales. Keaton Parks, nice little dip of the shoulder. Medina. Morales hooks it in, and Slonina read it the entire way. And he wants to go quickly.
Yeah, this is nice. He had numbers.
That was an interesting
Unfortunate
bounce coming off of the turf here at Sept.
Yeah, Fabian Herbers couldn't control that one, but a good decision by Gabi Slonina.
And as you mentioned earlier, Tony, Maxi Morales has really yet to find the game, and he's having a frustrating first half.
And I also said I think this team oftentimes goes as he goes, and it's just not been his night. So far hasn't been NYCFC's night.
Could it potentially be Robert Berić's night? The Slovenian makes a defender miss. Still Robert Berić, and it's off the bar. Espinosa's second crack, and that one's off the woodwork. Double doink in Bridgeview, and NYCFC come away unscathed.
My Lord, two great opportunities. Robert Berich did just about everything right here. This ball turns over, and we talked, get at him quickly, get behind this back line. Robert Berich cuts to the middle of the field and still had a lot of work to do. Then Johnny Espinosa with a deflection, still had some work to do there, and that one 2 off the crossbar, so 2-1 right now. Fire ahead of NYCFC with balls off the crossbar. Robert Berich had some patience, did everything right, committed the defender.
Boy, I would venture to say that that's probably the most composed that we've seen Robert Berich into the penalty area, probably since the beginning of the season.
I think tonight is, in general, is the most composed we've seen Robert Berich, the most comfortable we've seen him. Again, they are getting the ball forward a little bit quicker. They've got more numbers forward. You know, if you notice, as that ball was played in from Gaston Jimenez, there were 3 or 4 guys on their horses just trying to get into the box. Johnny Espinosa was about 60 yards away when that play started. And he finds himself at the top of the 18. As a manager, you're always thinking, as players, sometimes you're thinking the same thing on the field. You're like, oh boy, is it going to be one of those nights?
Fabian Herbers might be in on the other end. Sean Johnson can see it into his penalty area.
It looked like the run had the right timing here, and you needed a slight touch to slow it down before it gets to Sean Johnson. I think if you're NYCFC right now with a minute to go, minute and a half to go, you're just trying to get to the dressing room and try and figure things out.
As a part of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, Chicago Fire FC is hosting Kick Childhood Cancer Night. Players have the names of 20 pediatric cancer patients on their warm-ups, and they'll be autographed and gifted to the patients and their families after the match. To find out how you can help, visit MLSsoccer.com. Medran towards Berich again. Dealt with by the NYCFC back line. Medran applying the pressure on the repress. For Aronson, a lot of work to do here. Espinosa gets a piece of it, flicked into the path of Medran. Ricochets off of his face, loses his footing.
Well, I really don't want to give the commentators curse, so I won't tell you that Johan Kappelhoff has been really good in his game and a half back here.
Don't tell me that, yeah. Talk about a double doink. Just 1 minute of stoppage time in this first half. 3 different woodwork sightings between the 2 sides, 1 for NYCFC and 2 in the span of about 3 seconds for the Chicago Fire. And somehow we might just head to the dressing room at 0-0. Gave it away. Morales senses the pressure, stays on his feet. And now Baldomero Toledo is going to blow the whistle in favor of NYCFC, and probably one last kick of the first half here.
Boy, it's a bunch of tackles flying around here. Ball eventually ends up with Maxi Morales and Federico Navarro on the wrong side of Morales. This is the end of the play here. That's the foul. Referee Baldomero Toledo was waiting to see how it played out.
Acevedo just brushes it in. Kappelhoff is there, and that will do it for the first 45 minutes here at SeatGeek Stadium. No score between these 2 sides. They have now played 3 scoreless halves here in 2021. Both teams have struck the woodwork. The Chicago Fire have done it twice. Yet no score to be had. Tony Meola, your thoughts on the first half?
I thought it was a very good first half from Rafa Wiki's side. We saw a press, this press that we haven't seen for a couple of games, and I thought they did a very good job on the press and the repress.
And Rafael Wiki joins us field side here in Bridgeville, Illinois. Coach, you guys came out extremely hot in the first 10-15 minutes and applied the pressure for the majority of the first half. Denied by the woodwork a couple of times. What was your assessment?
Yeah, I think we have seen a very good game from both sides. Both sides tried to play. We pressed well, we played well, we had some good sequences. A bit unfortunate with the chances we couldn't convert. But yeah, we've seen a good game.
Rafa, I was just talking about that press and also your repress, especially off of restarts. Is that something that was a point of emphasis tonight against this NYCFC side?
Yeah, that's something we're going to do. NYC, they often try to play from the back, so we tried to step up and we did a good job. There is one or two times where we were a bit disorganized and then they play through you and then they become dangerous. So we just have to be careful, but keep doing that.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it. Coach. Well, there you have it from the gaffer himself. We've got a good one here at SeatGeek Stadium. Who says 0-0 score lines can't be exciting? We've had plenty of woodwork sightings. Gaga Slanina and Sean Johnson will be thankful for that. It's 0-0 as both teams head into the dressing room. We're headed to the CIBC halftime show here on GN and Chicago Fire FC Live. Don't go anywhere.
Gerber Collision and Glass is open for estimates and repairs. Our drop and go services include 3 contact-free options for getting essential services for your vehicle without having to walk into one of our shops. Learn more and find your nearest location at gerbercollision.com.
MLS Predict 6, presented by BetMGM. A weekly free-to-play game from Major League Soccer. Correctly make a set of predictions for each of the 6 featured MLS matches, and you could win $50,000 with other prizing each week. Play for free at MLSPredict6.com. Get in the game and win big.
One more. One more.
One more, please.
One more.
Hey, kid. Yeah, we'll take one more.
Oh, one more.
Child arrived just the other day, came to the world in the usual way, and he was talking for I knew it, and as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad, you know I'm gonna be like you.
I'm driving.
Zero alcohol.
And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon.
You want to express yourself. Expand your limits. Expand your limits.
It's a wish list on wheels. A choice that requires no explanation. It's where safe and daring seamlessly intersect. It's understated, yet over-delivers. It is truly the Mercedes-Benz of sports sedans. Lease the 2021 C300 4MATIC sedan for just $469 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Welcome into the CIBC halftime show, official bank of Chicago Fire FC. Downtown Chicago, a little more than a stone's throw away here at SeatGeek Stadium, but that has not stopped the Fire faithful from coming out in droves to support this Fire and NYCFC fixture here in late September. We'll take a look at the first half highlights brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Tony, it may be 0-0, but this has been a fun one.
Yeah, it's a lot of woodwork tonight here. This is the first one. Finnerholm pulls one back to Maxi Morales. He beats Gabby Slonina, but doesn't beat the woodwork here. Good ball played back. Good holding run by Maxi Morales, but you can see there it doesn't get all of it. Slonina, as I mention all the time, for a goalkeeper, that's music to your ears. Then a ball played over the top. And Robert Barracks, look at the patience here. Fabian Herbers, look at the runners in and around him. He cuts to the middle of the field, and he hits the woodwork here. And then the Fire weren't done here. John Espinosa deflected by Alexander Collins here. So double woodwork for the Chicago Fire, but they played well enough here in this first half to earn themselves a goal.
Good stuff from the Fire and NYCFC. Great stuff. Happy birthday, Massimo. Tony's bringing your cake over in just a few minutes.
At UI Health, we know a safer future is a healthier future, which is why we're continuing research on COVID treatments and therapies, keeping our patients safe while they receive care, and bringing the vaccine to more people and more communities. Chicago, a healthier future is on the horizon. Let's get there together. Learn more at uihealth.care.
It's a wish list on wheels. A choice that requires no explanation. It's where safe and daring seamlessly intersect. It's understated, yet over-delivers. It is truly the Mercedes-Benz of sports sedans. Lease the 2021 C300 4MATIC sedan for just $469 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Are you ready for the sports season? The licensed clinical experts at Rush Physical Therapy are. Don't let aches, pains, or an injury keep you from watching your favorite team compete or participating in your favorite activities. Trust our physical therapists to help you feel better, faster, and to get you back to the things you love. With many convenient locations throughout the community, Rush Physical Therapy is here to help you heal. To schedule an appointment today, go to rushpt.com. Rush Physical Therapy, the power of physical therapy.
Tonight, the Chicago Bears bound for the burbs? Details on their deal with Arlington Racetrack. Plus,
be a lot easier for traffic.
I think that's pretty exciting.
What fans are saying and what the Bears deal could mean for the mayor politically. Also, community alert for the gunman who killed a local dad as he was dropping off his daughter at school. Tonight on WGN News at 9 and 10.
Tonight on GN Sports, the Sox host the Reds, the Fire host New York City. And we talk with the Trib's Dan Wiederer on what the Bears could do to fix that offense tonight at 10:30.
You want to express yourself. Expand your limits.
Just the other day, came to the world in the usual way, and he was talking for I knew it, and as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad, you know I'm gonna be like you.
I'm driving.
Sir Uncle.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to Bridgeview, Illinois, both metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, as the Chicago Fire and NYCFC engaged in a 0-0 electrifying battle at the moment. Tyler Terrence along with U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Tony Meola. We're going to talk national for a second here. Tony, last week, MLS and Liga MX announcing new Leagues Cup format 2023. Basically going to be a World Cup format. Every single team from both leagues going to be competing for a month long, and they're both going to take a break. Two things come to mind when I'm thinking about this. One is TV deal, and two, this is a lot of work for the players Bears in the middle of the season.
I'm going to change it for you. I'm going to say big TV deal. How about that?
Yeah.
And you know, we've seen this relationship continue to flourish. We saw it with the All-Star game this year, and it was well received in LA. Incredible relationship that will continue to grow the game in this country. Of course, CONCACAF Champions League, that's the holy grail for Major League Soccer teams. That's the one that they want to win, right? So it's eluded them. But we had thought initially that we would see both leagues combine some way. I think this is the way that makes most sense. The important part here is that you're going to take a month off during the season to play this in a World Cup style tournament, which is nothing that we could have guessed. So I'm interested to see how this all works out here, and then what it does to the Major League Soccer schedule. Will it become East against West, or the Eastern teams just playing Eastern teams? There's going to have to be a big change in the schedule because you just can't play that many games.
Well, you talk about Champions League being the holy grail. I'd argue that this one is actually tougher to win than Champions League, although there's going to be 3 Champions League spots available. But while we have some time, let's take a look at the U.S. men's national team 27-man roster that was released for this upcoming window. And Tony, these games are going to be played in just a few days' time, and I don't think there's any real surprises in here, but I know that there are some fans, maybe even some NYCFC fans, who are upset that Joe Scally isn't in the mix.
Yeah, Joe Scally not in the mix. James Sands also not in the mix. Of course, no Pulisic and Gio Reyna because they're injured. But I think what you're seeing from Greg Berhalter here is I'm picking the guys that are in the best form right now. When you see a Christian Roldan and a Paul Arriola, these are 3 really important games. 2 of them are at home, which when you talk about World Cup qualifying, automatically you talk about 6 points. And in that middle game, you have to go down to Panama, which is probably one of the surprises right now in the 8-team tournament. So it's not an easy October for Greg Berhalter. They got off to a slow start. They want to get off to a better start in that first game in Austin against Jamaica.
For you in this window, is there a certain amount of points that you need in order to make sure to put yourself in a good position to qualify? Is it 6 points? Is it 7? Is it 9?
No, well, 9 is maybe unrealistic, although that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
But for sure 6 because you got those 2 home games. If you can squeeze 7 out of this, you're in the driver's seat.
All right, there you have it from Tony Meola. You're driving the Ferrari all the way to Qatar next year if you're able to get 7 points. We'll be back with the second half when we come back.
Gerber Collision and Glass is open for estimates and repairs. Our drop and go services include 3 contact-free options for getting essential services for your vehicle without having to walk into one of our shops. Learn more and find your nearest location at gerbercollision.com.
MLS Predict 6, presented by BetMGM. A weekly free-to-play game from Major League Soccer. Correctly make a set of predictions for each of the 6 featured MLS matches, and you could win $50,000 with other prizing each week. Play for free at MLSPredict6.com. Get in the game and win big.
Our strength allows us to reach the unthinkable.
What a catch! He just saved the game!
And through it all, even as we have the ability to push ourselves to the limit, it will always be muscle and mind and heart.
History!
That is the future of our pastime.
That is awesome!
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, proud server of the most advanced machine on Earth.
At UI Health, we know a safer future is a healthier future, which is why we're continuing research on COVID treatments and therapies, keeping our patients safe while they receive care, and bringing the vaccine to more people and more communities. Chicago, a healthier future is on the horizon. Let's get there together. Learn more at uihealth.care.
One more. One more.
One more, please.
One more.
Hey, kid. Yeah, we'll take one more.
Oh, one more.
Child arrived just the other day, came to the world in the usual way, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you.
I'm driving.
Zero alcohol.
This presentation of Chicago Fire FC is brought to you by Heineken, proud partner of your Chicago Fire Football Club. Beautiful night here in Chicago as we are underway from Bridgeview. Second half ready to go. Baldomero Toledo gets us started. Tyler Terrence along with U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Tony Meola. Glad to have you with us here on WGN and Chicago Fire FC Live. NYCFC in third place, continuing to battle with about 6 or 7 other teams in the Eastern Conference for the remaining 5 playoff spots outside of Nashville and the New England Revolution. Just 2 points separate NYCFC in third place and Atlanta United in 8th place. Chicago Fire coming off of a very strong first half in which they applied a ton of pressure on this Ronnie Dyla-led NYCFC team. Raphael Wicke was very pleased with the way that the team was set up overall and, of course, executed the game plan. Just couldn't quite finish off a couple of chances that hit the crossbar twice in about a span of 10 seconds. John Espinoza had a great chance as well.
Tyler, I thought here Ronnie Dyla might go to 4 in the back and move Alfredo Morales back into the midfield, but he is still in the back of that back 3, right in the center of the defense.
Comes Johan Kappelhoff. And just as we were about to say that he had probably his best first 45 minutes of the season, gives the ball away there. And you mentioned it earlier in the first half, Tony, seeing Tyler Magno for the first time up close and in person is just a totally different proposition from what Tati Castellanos brings to the table. And like you talked about, it's just, it doesn't give as much room in the middle of the field for the likes of Keaton Parks, Maxi Morales, and the like to operate.
Yeah, and I wonder, just by his movements, if he feels a little bit more comfortable as a wing player, you know, out wide. He just looks a little uncomfortable at the moment, and it's probably a bit more of coordination than anything with his teammates, but just doesn't look in sync. And of course, he's got Maxi Morales behind him, and he's a guy, if you make the right runs, he's going to find you and put you in good positions to score goals. But of course, you know, the one thing we tend to forget, right, we're talking about a 19-year-old that's come from Brazil and has come to the U.S. and is trying to fit into a new system, and it's not going to happen overnight. Credit to the Fire because they've really bottled them up the entire night. Good ball played in.
They go quickly from the restart. Here's Robert Barrett, and he finishes it off. Quick play off the dead ball. Robert Barrett, clean as you like in the penalty area, and the Fire take a 1-0 lead.
Well, Robert Barrett obviously gets credit for this goal here, but all the work done by Alvaro Medran as NYCFC turns off for just a split second. And that man there, Robert Barrett, you look here, both on the same page. Look at all the space. Acevedo comes over. Tinnerholm is too far out. Maxi Chanot can't get over. And Robert Barrett, with his left foot, buries it far post here, giving Sean Johnson no chance. And a well-deserved goal for that man, Robert Barrett. We talked in the first half. It was probably one of his best 45 minutes this season for the Fire. He gets himself a goal here and a well-earned goal. Heads-up play by Alvaro Medran and Robert Barrett. They were on the same page. They caught NYCFC napping.
First goal for Robert Barrett since that game winner against Red Bulls towards the end of August. In the first road win in the Raphael Wicke era. Scores his 4th goal of the season, and the Chicago Fire take the lead. Alvaro Medran with his 6th assist of the season. He's tried up in that category over the past few months, but quick thinking, and he's been doing that all night long. And you're just waiting for one of them to find the back of the net. To say that it's been a frustrating season for Robert Barrett would be the understatement. of the decade as far as Major League Soccer is concerned, but gets a good one here. And now here's Gaston Jimenez trying to touch it along, but stood up initially. Spaniard gives this one away, though, as Magno finds Keaton Parks, and perhaps the counterattack is on for NYCFC. Out of the reach of Espinoza. Here's Morales. Morales and Alexander Collins were exchanging some words as Medina finding the Argentine magician. Goody Terrerensen flashes it across. Keaton Parks was there, takes a couple of different deflections. And Baldemaro Toledo points for a goal kick.
Yeah, I did see a little bit of frustration there from Maxi Morales, and you mentioned Alexander Collins having to go as they wanted to get forward a little bit quicker.
Look at the binder numbers presented by CIBC. Not just the first half stats, but up to date with what we've seen in the opening 5 minutes of the second half as well.
As we said a little bit earlier, this is not an NYCFC side that's been great on the road, only having won 3 of their 13. See if the Fire can take advantage of that.
Medran finding Miguel Navarro. Almost able to pick out Robert Barris through the legs of Maxime Chenot, but it falls comfortably into the hands of Sean Johnson. But the offside flag goes up after Johnson already has punted it the other way.
Again, good circulation of the ball. I don't know that that's the ball that Medran wanted. I think he wanted it over the top, and Barris eventually called for an offside there. But I like the fact, and we talked about it right from the start, clearly Rafa Wicki and Frank Lopez saw this in the games, the 2 games against the Red Bulls. They had to win against FC Cincinnati, but the game prior to that, the 3 goals that Dallas scored in that 3-3 matchup, you just see they're out of rhythm here as you make defenders look back, and in this case, Maxime Chenot plays it out for a corner kick.
I also think you can throw on top of that, Tony, is that there's one team that you don't want to play in back-to-back games in Major League Soccer, and that's Red Bulls. I mean, that is an exhausting 180 minutes.
Yeah, it is their rivalry, right? The Hudson River Derby. And Red Bull actually looked better on the smaller field at Yankee Stadium than they did in their own arena. Fire have been working this 3-man system. You see Jimenez, Medran, and in this case, Espinoza here.
Espinoza. It's not a bad-looking ball.
The tough ball played out to Espinoza as he had to gather it and then turn his feet. He did a good job with it.
Bornstein and Morales were engaged in a duel right in front of Ronnie Dyla. Morales. Keaton Parks. Terrerensen. Acevedo. Gaston Jimenez got an outstretched toe to it. Barrage helps it along for Espinoza. Trying to just push it into space, and he gets fouled by Alexander Collins.
I think if you're Ronnie Dyla right now, you got to start thinking about what changes you make here. If you're Rafa Wicki, you're happy with the rhythm of the side. If you're going to change somebody, it's more of a fitness thing. It's going to continue to be a battle in the midfield, and there's Espinoza drawing the foul.
Medran, offside.
Thinking at some point we're going to see some combination of Thiago Andrade, Eber, Tajuri Shradi. Seemingly comes up with big goals for this NYCFC side quite a bit. But right now, Rafa Wiki side, they're doing everything right. Battling for every ball in the midfield. Ball circulation has been good. They've seemed to frustrate Maxi Morales. You see him at the top of your screen there, just getting up. Frustrated he didn't get a call there. He and Kapelhoff were battling, and I'm not quite sure if Kapelhoff swung his arm or not.
A couple of substitutions are getting set for NYCFC. One confirmed is Santiago Rodriguez. Definitely a wealth of riches for Ronnie Deila coming off the bench between Rodriguez, Andrade, bringing Eber, who'd be making his third appearance since coming off of ACL surgery almost a year ago exactly. Morales, big diagonal ball. Magno wasn't exactly sure what was behind him. A little perplexing as to why he didn't make a play on it, but either way, it rolls out a play for a goal kick.
He's pointing up to the lights right now, but almost seemed like he's looking up at the lights, but it seemed like someone called him off from behind, and he let it go.
Played by Herbers. Jimenez picks up the seconds. Just dumps it over the top for Espinoza. He lofts it back in. Laid off for Madran. Coming away from the pack with the ball, attempting to stay on his feet, but gets the foul. And we're hearing it is going to be Thiago Andrade and Santiago Rodriguez who are going to come off the bench for Ronnie Deila and try to inject some life into the side. Rodriguez, a 21-year-old from Montevideo, Uruguay. Has 3 goals on the season so far and has been one of the young up-and-comers in Major League Soccer over the past few weeks. And Thiago Andrade, with a boatload of pace in his locker, going to try to stretch this defense of the Chicago Fire, which they really have failed to do for almost the entirety of the hour that's been played thus far.
Yeah, with Andrade in as that number 9 right now, this is going to be a completely different look for the Fire. Mauricio Pineda, Warrenstein, and Kapelhoff to his right and left will have to deal with a little cover and balance.
Cut up by Jimenez. Herbers almost gave it away. Here comes Andrade. Just muscles the German off the ball. Almost gives it away in the same breath, though. And Gaston Jimenez, he might have caught Alfredo Morales there, and he's going to go into the book as well.
You don't mind these as a manager, right? Because you got a player going after a ball 100%. 2 guys getting after it. Morales just beats him to it. He comes from behind. He's always going to... He does have his studs up there. It always makes it dangerous. Alfredo Morales, looks like he caught that one pretty good.
Jesus Medina. Loops it back in. Slanina's there, and he picks it out of the air and makes the play.
This ball out by Slonina. This is what I'm talking about. They may get out of it here, but you're putting your defenders under a lot of pressure, and eventually you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure. Really nice job in the middle third here, trying to get through it all.
And Madran wins the foul. Maxime Chenot, a little over anxious, trying to win the ball back. Fire fans, all merchandise at the Chicago Fire store is buy one, get one free. Visit ChicagoFireFanShop.com and take advantage of this discount before it's too late. And all the swag with the new crest becomes available. And if Tony and I go missing for a few days, it's because we're trying on all the new gear. Send your sizes in yet?
My size is clear. When you have a look, there's no XL or bigger. Quicker pace here from NYCFC since the 2 substitutions have been made.
Here's Tinnerholm, slides it across. Good positioning from Johnny Bornstein. Miguel Navarro makes sure. But a corner for the visitors. They go quickly from the corner. Maxi Morales. Good ball. Slonina has to stay home. Pineda gets a little touch to it.
Yes, Slonina got caught in a little no man's land there. You get that one step to make a move, then you either got to go or you got to come back. And he took 2 or 3 to that back post and realized.
Keaton Parks looking for the curler. Probably the most amount of sustained pressure we've seen from NYCFC tonight, as that's cleared away and goes all the way back to Sean Johnson.
Yeah, Rodriguez is a little higher up the field than Acevedo was, so inherently now you got to pull one guy back to deal with that. Andrade, instead of coming back and checking in, look, he's trying to stretch the field. He's got Pineda just peeled off him now.
A really hot ball played into Maxi Morales. Couldn't quite handle it from Tinnerholm.
That one was a lot closer than maybe it looked. And they're able to break out.
Fabian Herbers has the tall task of trying to hold it up against Collins right now. Espinoza trying to go back for the German.
Wondering if Rafałowicki's thinking about a counter-attacking threat. Miguel Navarro's come up here, got caught once again. You see him at the bottom of your screen.
Referee says play on. Madran, Baric to his left with the Slovenian again, trying to cut it back against Chenot. Was really in tune with what the DP from the Fire was trying to do. It will be a corner.
So thinking about this game starting to stretch a little bit. Robert Baric stretching this line here as it turns over. Madran getting forward. He can't beat Chenot. Makes a good play. Knocks it out for a corner. Starting to see right there in the top right of your screen, the Fire substitutes are starting to warm up a little heavier.
Corner comes straight in. And Sean Johnson calls everyone off. Andrade. Medina. Santiago Rodriguez is on his way here. Rodriguez, what a challenge that is from Federico Navarro.
Really well-timed tackle in a dangerous area. Had to get that one spot on. You see the intensity being picked up a little bit here by NYCFC. This man here, Andrade, getting forward quite a bit.
Andrade throwing 3 different defenders from Chicago. Goes it back for Tinnerholm. Keaton Parks. He's not bashful from distance, just tries to dink it in, maybe a bit too delicate. And with all the numbers that NYCFC are throwing forward, Chicago look ripe to be able to go on the counterattack, but Federico Navarro, this is just simply what he does.
Gets his body in between the player and the ball. Gets the good contact to slow him down. Gets his foot on the ball. Sweeps it forward. Really nicely done. Trying to think of guys that can stretch the game here. Chinoso Ofor is the one guy that comes to mind that will occupy some defenders. I don't know that Aliseda is a guy that runs by people on a counter, but he certainly, if he can find some space underneath, maybe that Fabian Herbers role. But he's done such a great job in the middle of the field tonight.
Jimenez with tons of conviction. Blocked by Chanot before he could get to Johnson.
Looked like he had Sean Johnson stretched there to his right before it was blocked.
Espinoza. Barrett just peeled out wide. Plays it off. Federico Navarro weaving his way through, and it's in! A first for Fetty for the Chicago Fire, and they double their lead.
Well, I don't know how this one ends up in the back of the net, and certainly from our vantage point, Sean Johnson is not going to be happy, but that man will be ecstatic as he breaks a play up in the midfield. Then Robert Barrett here with a little shimmy, a good first touch, and it looks like there's a slight deflection that throws Sean Johnson off here. Yeah, there is. You can see the change of the spin on the ball. It goes underneath Sean Johnson. Oh boy, Sean Johnson's not going to want to see that one heading into U.S. men's national team camp. There was a deflection, but a play that surely he needs to make. But from a Fire standpoint, they go up 2-0 here, and in my opinion, a well-deserved lead. Now, can you manage the game?
Andrade. Navarro got in the way. A corner coming up for NYCFC. You're starting to see a little bit more urgency now from Ronnie Dyla's side, now that they've fallen down 2-0. But do not write them off. This is a group that can score and do it in bunches. Medina. Good ball whipped in all the way at the back post. And just like that, they're back in it. But the offside flag is up. Well, they'll certainly have a look. It was Santiago Rodriguez who, if they are going to call it a goal, will take it.
Well, generally now you push up to the where the ball is served. Bornstein is the deepest guy here. The only one Barrich would have kept him. He's the deepest guy here, but from that first angle, it certainly looked like he was in an offside position here. They'll have a quick look and have a discussion. Here's that first angle. You'll see Barrich, he's the deepest guy. Yeah, he looks to be offside. We're not right in line, and that's the view that the VAR is going to see. So being called offside, it'll have to be definitive. It's a big moment in this game.
Confirmed it is offside. Well, it might have given Raphael Wicki a few more gray hairs than he had hoped, but in the end, it remains a 2-0 lead for Chicago.
And the new way of defending corners over the last couple of years, we see it all around the world when the ball is served to wherever, the 6-yard box, 4 yards out, 7 yards out. That's where you want your line to pull up for that exact reason. It's always touchy when you don't have players on the post, because if you do have players on the post, that one ends up in the big back of the net. It's a decision that managers make these days, which way they want to approach it. Works out in the favor of the Fire in this instance.
forget his first MLS goal. That is the first professional goal for Federico Navarro, period. And when that man signs the dotted line, you're by no means expecting him to find the back of the net. That's simply just not his role. So anything that does roll through the legs of the likes of Sean Johnson is gravy.
I think you saw in his celebration how happy he was.
Like he had never done it before?
As you mentioned, right? He's not brought here to score goals, and I don't know that he'll be the leading goal scorer in this group anytime soon, but it's awfully nice to get in a position and earn that goal.
Navarro will try to keep this in play and does so beautifully. Miguel Navarro towards the back post. Easy for Johnson. Simply asking for my own clarity here. Despite the deflection, Sean Johnson still needs to make the play.
Yeah,
the pace of the ball.
He certainly needs to make that play, and almost looked like he was diving over it, you know, too far past it. There was a little bit of a screen, but I say Sean Johnson. Reality is just guys in the league in general. That's a play you want to make, and you know, Sean Johnson is a national team goalkeeper for a reason.
Kaploff spins out of trouble as we're hearing Chinoso Ofora is getting set to come on to replace Robert Beric. Espinoza couldn't make the play. Now here's Andrade. See, Navarro was trying to hook that into the path of Beric. A reminder that Chicago Fire FC Celebration for All is just around the corner. It begins Monday, October 4th with the launch of the new crest and ends with a night at the Metro on Friday the 8th. For a complete list of all the activities and artists, visit chicagofirefc.com/celebration. Tinnerholm lashes it across. Andrade, a heavy first touch that probably prevented him from taking the shot. And Madron will happily take it the other way. Miguel Navarro to his left. Fabian Herbers on his right. He's closed down by Jesus Medina, who makes the challenge. One too many touches from Madron. Tinnerholm is wide open at the bottom of your screen, and that's where the ball goes. The Swede lines it up. Boy, that wasn't too far away, and he hit it cleanly as well. Might have taken a deflection. We'll get the substitution first as the Nigerian will replace the Slovenian. And the best performance that we've seen from Robert Beric, dare I say, Tony, the entirety of the 2021 season.
Certainly the most confident-looking performance from Robert Beric. A goal and an assist tonight. That goal in the 48th minute. Well taken here as he and Madron are on the same page. That shows me an alert forward. Gets on his left foot and he buries it cleanly. And of course, he gets the assist to Federico Navarro to make it 2-0, but a good night for Robert Beric.
So a 4 onto the scene to help Chicago close it out. Wins the defensive header. Madron felt like he was fouled. Morales takes it in towards the back post. It might be an own goal, but Salina keeps it out. Wow. It won't go down as a save, but it certainly saved the goal.
Well, Miguel Navarro saying his prayers here as this came through some traffic, so I don't know that he knew much about it. And he heads it onto his own goal with nobody, no pressure, nobody behind him. And Gabby Slonina just coming across the goal, tracking the ball, makes a great play. It's always difficult because when you look over your shoulder and you see your own player here, in this case Navarro, you're never expecting that a ball's going to be headed on frame. And he's just coming and tracking the ball across, and say your prayers and buy Gabby Slonina a dinner. Miguel Navarro.
NYCFC will go again. Tinnerholm. Navarro goes to ground, shouts for a handball. And with the new rule, that one becomes extremely difficult to get.
Yeah, this is one for sure in the booth they're going to have a look at. We've been told so many things about this is something that they'll look at. I still think that's I've been telling you this for 2 years. I think it's a natural position.
Get to that in just a moment as Maxi Morales teeing this one up. Mauricio Pineda cuts it out. And Herbers will draw the foul. A couple more substitutions for Ronnie Dyla. And another roll of the dice trying to get back into this game. So Goody Terrerinson will make way. That will bring on Izzy Tajiri-Shradi.
There's a ball headed out here, and there's Fabian Herbers trying to hold it up, and Chanot comes up his backside here. I wonder if he caught him with a knee.
Malta Amundsen was the other substitution for Ronnie Dyla as Fabian Herbers will gingerly walk off with the help of Jeff Tanaka.
As this ball travels over, as a goalkeeper, you look and you're thinking right now, my player is he's going to clear this one. You're never really thinking that he's going to put it on frame. And all Slonina is doing is really tracking the ball like you should. You get to the near post, it travels over your head. You get back to the middle of the goal, get to the far post, and much I'm sure to his surprise, he had to make a play on it. And you do it immediately as well. Yeah, and you do that, you do all that great work, you make a great play, and it doesn't even count as a save for you in the end.
I thought you weren't a stats guy. Jimenez's back heel doesn't come off for 0-4. Broken up again by Federico Navarro. Johnny Bornstein goes sliding into that challenge a little bit late on Alfredo Morales. Towards Andrade. Maxi Morales giving chase. It'll be a handball.
It's a frustrated NYCFC side tonight, and credit to Rafa Wicki and the Chicago Fire team here. They've done everything right here for 78 minutes. Now can they seal the deal? They will need a little bit more possession in the midfield, and it leads me to believe that potentially Luka Stojanovic comes in the game. A little more possession, someone calm in the midfield, some new legs. Alisade is the other one. You think maybe he can spring and find something in the attack. This game opens up a little. If you're the Chicago Fire here, it's about defending now for 12 minutes. Got 3 points here.
Kappelhoff finding Herbers. Press is still on here from NYCFC. And Chicago give it away. And the visitors will go again.
Getting pinned back here a little bit, Chicago. That's okay as long as you stay compact. When you do get the ball, you got to be sharp with it.
Jimenez Two options to his right. One of them is Espinoza. With it on its support. Working on Morales. Kaplov. Bornstein. Navarro, great little ball in for Jimenez. Referee says play on. Body's flying across SeatGeek at the moment. Maxi Morales into the channel for Thiago Andrade. Picked up by Mauricio Pineda. To Juri Shradi. Typically plays this super sub type of role for Ronnie Dyler. Tinnerholm. Good job from Chicago getting numbers back behind the ball and just delaying the attack from NYCFC. 10 minutes remaining in this one. Goals from Robert Beric and Federico Navarro. Collins. Maxi Morales. Gets it right back. Trying to leave it off for Tajuri Shradi. Squirts out for Tinnerholm. A couple of deflections, one of them from Federico Navarro. And Miguel Navarro will try to prevent the corner, unsuccessful in doing so.
A bit more pressure here from NYCFC on this Chicago Fire. Back line, they're bending but not breaking at the moment.
Whipped in, Slanina stays home. Plenty of time for the Argentine to deliver. Does just that over the head of Santiago Rodriguez, and Herbers will chase it down. Tony, I'm going to ask you this question because I feel like there might be some Fire fans at home who are asking it. Why does tonight look different, obviously in a good way, comparatively to the rest of the season?
Well, that's a tough question, right? On certain nights, the team just clicks, and there's certain moments where things don't go your way. And it's really, a lot of it for me has been just attitude, right? And when you get to the point in the season where you start to say to yourself, oh, here we go again, and you put your head down and you complain about a call, and it starts to fester throughout the team. And we saw a little bit of that over the last couple of weeks, and it's frustration. 45 days on the road, that's never easy. I don't know, outside of, and we talked about this, outside of moving into a new building, if we've ever seen that before. Now they've still got some work to do. So far, so good.
Gaga Slanina will handle that delivery from Amundsen comfortably. As we're hearing, Nacho Aliceta is getting set to come on for Fabian Herbers. But there was a clear tactical difference tonight as well, and you heard it from Rafael Wicki just in terms of the press, because we really haven't seen that all that much, and it clearly frustrated NYCFC for the first half and obviously into the second half as well.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that Ronnie Dyla was set to come here and get pressed from what he has seen from the Chicago Fire side over the last couple of weeks. Now, it worked for the Fire, kept them in games, especially on the road. He didn't expend a lot of energy by sitting at midfield. As Navarro picks off another one here, he's having a really good night. Yeah, it's the dilemma for a manager. And I will say this, I think this is a really important couple of minutes here for Ignacio Aliceta when he comes in the game. This is a guy that has high expectations from this side, from this club. He's brought in here to be an attacking player. There will be some room here. And Fabian Herbers, just looking at him here, he's absolutely spent. He's the guy that we're hearing is going to come off. And I think this is really important for Aliceta, even though it's a couple minutes. That's his role tonight.
Now the substitution will happen, and of course is brought to you by our friends over at Gerber Collision and Glass, as Fabian Herbers, as he always does, empties the tank and gives the club his absolute most.
Yeah, he had a really good run tonight. And he's one of those guys, doesn't really show up on the stats with goals and assists.
Aliseda onto the scene in the 85th minute. Eber, the Brazilian striker who was the main man up top for this club before being struck down by an ACL injury last year, comes on and makes his third appearance. He's only got 31 minutes under his belt in 2021, but getting him healthy and getting him reintegrated into the squad is going to be mighty important for NYCFC heading down the stretch and heading into the playoffs.
Eber's in the game now, and Alfredo Morales is out here, and I thought this change was going to happen, taking Morales, at least pushing him into the midfield around halftime. Dalla chose to stick with it and stay with those three central defenders, using Morales. Now he's in desperation mode right now.
Four somehow got it away for Nacho Aliseda. Good hold-up play for the young designated player. Given away by Madran. Kajuri Shradi being chased down by the man who gave it away. Ornstein with the challenge. Parks. Plenty of options. Maxi Morales. Eber puts it across. Good play from Pineda. Pardon me, that was Santiago Rodriguez with the delivery.
Here's a little play here, and you see Gaston Jimenez having a word with Aliseda as the ball turned over in the middle of the field. Alvaro Madran, who's now run for 85 minutes in the game, tracks back.
Chance here. Third away.
And Aliseda just jogs back, and Gaston Jimenez is probably saying to him, hey, you just came in the game. You got to go 100% and track back. This can't just be a one-way street right now. You're brought in for the counterattack, but we need other work to be done as well.
And Slamina covers up, and he's hoping for his first professional win. He's earned 2 clean sheets already, one of them against NYCFC in his debut.
Having some night of winning balls here in the midfield.
Looking for their first win since that 1-0 victory over Red Bulls at the end of August on the road at the start of that 6-game road swing. Mauricio Pineda wins it again. He's had a solid shift tonight as 0-4. Some clever footwork. Now finding Pineda. Fire looking to put this one to bed. 0-4. Maybe one too many cutbacks.
Well, they were one spin away here from a shot on goal. Nice read here by John Espinosa to step in and win it.
NYCFC looks spent at the moment.
I think Madran's brain wants to go forward right now, but his legs are telling him, we got to hold it up here.
Kapilov. Gaston Jimenez. John Espinosa at the top of the broadcast, Tony. I think we can confidently say that this has been his best performance in MLS as well.
Yeah, and you asked the question before, why did it look different? And then you start talking about individual performances. We talk about Robert Beric, his best performance of the season. Medran is going off now. Luka Stojanovic is coming on. Maybe one of his best performances of the season. You just mentioned John Espinosa. We talked about Johan Kappelhoff. When you start talking about individuals had their best performance, you put them all together and you get a result like this.
We're hearing 4 minutes of stoppage time in the substitution. Stojanovic for Medran, brought to you by Gerber Collision and Glass.
Both managers now have played all their cards here.
Espinosa trying to get to the outside, but it'll be a goal kick. Fire fans, we dropped our 13th episode of the Intercontinental Football Show last week. We covered all things football from both sides of the pond, including all the parity in the Premier League this season and the growth of Brian Gutierrez. The podcast is available wherever you download your audio content. And it even got Tony and I into an argument in the drive over here to SeatGeek.
It sure did.
Shows violence as soon as you stepped into the car.
That's not true. We were on the highway when we started talking about it.
Penultimate home match of the 2021 campaign for the Fire. Of course, Fan Appreciation Night hosting Real Salt Lake on October 23rd. This one towards Andrade and a good challenge from Kappelhoff. We mentioned before, this will be the first win for the Fire since August 28th against Red Bulls. Meanwhile, you'd have to go all the way back to August 15th for their last win at Soldier Field against the Columbus Crew. As Amundsen sends this in, Keaton Parks was the target. Aliseda full of life, and the Fire maybe looking for a third here. Full performance from Federico Navarro, gets a goal for his troubles as well. Miguel Navarro. NYCFC will have to lick their wounds and continue on here as they will host Nashville over the weekend heading into the international break. Espinosa clips it in. 0-4. What a save from Sean Johnson.
That's a really good play here by Sean Johnson, but equally as good. Espinosa, good ball. He knows he's got Chinoso. 0-4. Put it up there. Let the big man go up and get after it. Oh, it's back post here.
Eber finding Rodriguez. Diverted him from his initial path just a bit. Uruguayan trying to peel it towards the edge of the area. Morales was there, but so is Gaston Jimenez.
That's really good work there by Gaston Jimenez as he's about 40, 50 yards away from this play when the first ball goes over and he tracks back and breaks it up as it's pulled back, but there's the ball played in, and you see Sean Johnson having to react back against the grain. He's going to his right. Has to make a play to his left, and NYCFC is going to get a corner kick here. And right now, all you're thinking as a group, there's got to be one thing on your mind. You've got to preserve this shutout. You've worked so hard defensively tonight. Let's get this ball and head it into 6 rows into the stands right now.
That's certainly the message from Gaga Slonina, looking for his 3rd professional clean sheet and his 1st professional win. Rodriguez towards the byline, takes a deflection over the crossbar and another corner. This will probably be the last play of the night.
Defended here one more time.
Boys, come on.
You got post deflection off of Johnny Espinosa.
Come on, boys. 90 minutes on. Johnny, higher.
Rodriguez outswinger Slonina bats it away. Maxi Morales takes it on the first time into Chinoso 04. And that's going to do it. 2 goals, a clean sheet, and 3 points for the Chicago Fire. First professional win for Gaga Slonina. Federico Navarro with his first professional goal. Robert Barrett with his first goal since August 28th. The first win for the Chicago Fire since August 28th. And it is all smiles here at SeatGeek.
Well, you felt the frustration over the last couple weeks, and you kind of felt a game like this was coming, and it happened against a very good NYCFC side. They got it right in every phase of the game tonight, and there's your Heineken man of the match, his first career goal. Federico Navarro from Robert Barrett's little fancy footwork here, and he gets in the box. He gets a slight deflection, which helps him out, beats Sean Johnson, and Federico Navarro, boy, a happy man tonight. There's your player of the match.
Well, it sort of looked like Jimmy Falfano the way he was running around looking for somebody to hug. Meanwhile, Gaga Slonina, what a night for him. First professional win, and he's part of our All-State Save of the Match.
Yeah, this one comes across, and I don't know what it looks like in the record books. I'm calling it the biggest save of the game. There's no doubt. The All-State Save of the Match. Those statisticians can say, oh, it came off your own player. We don't call this a save. Absolutely, we call this a save. The young man, another shutout against NYCFC, and as you mentioned, his first professional win.
Well, Tony Meola will be getting an email from someone for calling that a save, but Gaga Slonina will certainly take it. So Miguel Navarro, Federico Navarro, what a performance from that young man. Back-to-back man of the matches for the 21-year-old who was brought in for a multi-million transfer fee. The Chicago Fire were knocking on the door in the first half. They finally get their goals in the second. The next broadcast will be at 3 p.m. right here on WGN as they will travel north of the border to take on TFC. Up next on WGN, it's news at 9 for our entire crew and Tony Meola. Tyler Terrence saying so long for now. The Fire are victors 2-0 over New York City.
When we play together, we